Hi, I'm Jim Turner, Release Boatworks. Welcome to this month's episode of Shop Walk. I'm going to take you through the entire shop, starting here at the north wall. We're going to walk all the way to the south wall. This is where everything starts. You've kind of seen a little bit of this already. And we're going to take you all the way to where they leave the building. So this is the glass shop or lamination department. On the right-hand side, we have our hulls, big parts. Left-hand side, we have the decks, fly bridges, houses, big parts, and then we go into medium parts, and we have a different section for small parts. This is the hull that came out of the mold earlier last week. Maybe you've seen on Instagram, we did a time-lapse video. Over there, right now, we have the next 46 that just started up in the mold. We'll go check that out, see some what happens at the very early stages of a hull mold. So we're here at another 46 game boat. Last Friday, exactly a week ago from today, you saw us pull that hull out of this mold. So since this week we've been put this mold back together, we put all the inserts in. We have our sonar tube locator, our transducer box, shaft tubes, strut pads, trim tab pockets, exhaust locations. Then a gel coat goes down, and we put a skin coat on top of the gel coat. Then we come back in, we fill in the guardrail, we fill in the detail line, fill in the chine, put glass over that by hand. Now Monday, we'll start laying in all the dry stack, we call it. First layer of glass goes down. Then the core. This is what goes on the bottom. This is a 1.25 inch high density core. You can see it's designed specifically for infusion, so that the channels, the grooves are cut in. It's perforated so the resin flows through these channels. It can bend to the shape of the hull. That goes down, which is what they're doing right now. That'll go down after they have all the core down. Then they'll come back in and put the final layer of glass down on top of the core. Here we got, I guess we call them medium parts, but we have our drink boxes, our seating, benches, all that going on here. This is our big table. We're laying out a bulkhead right now for 55. We try and do all the dirty work in the lamination department. So we move into this area. We're doing fairing. We're cutting all the holes in here. We have a hole over here that we're just finished the first stage. We call it mudding, but it's fairing with our epoxy fairing compound. So you can see why we keep all this in a separate area. So we've already mudded, what we call mudded the boat, put in all the epoxy fairing compound in here in the lazarette, engine room, and forward stateroom areas. Put all of that on, and then we got to sand all of it down, and that's where all this dust comes from, and that's why we try and contain this area. But this is step one of making this look like a beautiful mirror finished interior. We move into the next stage. We have a curtain up. All the dirty stuff happens in here. Let's go to the other side of the curtain, and we'll start again from there. So from this stage forward, this side of the curtain forward, the shop breaks into two lines. We have our 46 line, and we have our 55 line for now. We do all of our rough mechanical, rough electric, rough plumbing in this stage. And then we start rough assembly, putting the decks down, putting the cockpit down, deck down, ring cap, bridge, everything starts going together here. This is the last part of roughing. So all of our mechanicals and electric, plumbing, it's all in. Tanks are in, seakeepers in, engines are in. We've got the deck down. You can see we dry fit the ring cap on a 46 walk around. Once we're happy with how everything fits, we move it down to the next stage to final assembly, and then we start making it pretty. So this is the next step. This is another 46 Express. We're in the final assembly stages here. We got to do some finish work. Interior's basically finished. All the wiring's done. We do our last bit of glass work now. Final painting, and then start putting the teak down, getting the cushions measured, any equipment that has to go in up here. This boat's getting a refrigerator up here, a sink. That all happens now. So this boat's in the final stages in this building. We got our ventilation in this week, faux teak's done, paint's done, bottom paint's done, struts, rudders, everything's on. You may notice there's no tower. The owner elected to have this boat, have the tower put on in Florida. We usually do them here if we can. Timmy doesn't like to work in the cold weather. This one's here, Martech Marine Electronics is on the boat, buttoning up as much as they can before it goes to the water to do final testing. And we'll have the service tech for Man Engines on the boat next week to do the startup, make sure it hits all the proper numbers at each RPM range, teaks on, everything's done on this boat, ready to go out the door. And that is the door. That's the entire shop we just walked through. So now let's go back to Bailey's Ark, and we're gonna celebrate our whiskey plaque, release style. So there's a tradition called the whiskey plank in boat building, and it started back in the days of shipbuilding. You know, the hull is built upside down. It was built out of wooden planks, and before they nailed that last plank in, everybody would sign that plank who worked on that hull, and then they'd all have a shot of whiskey. That was called the whiskey plank. At that point, the hull was turned over. Then it was real. It was tangible. It was a hull that was going to become a boat. It was a very overused saying in the boat building world. We say she's starting to look like a boat. Well, the whiskey plank ceremony is basically when she really starts to look like a boat. It's when a boat gets her soul. For us, when the hull comes out of the mold, that's our whiskey plank moment. So we are carrying on the tradition of the whiskey plank. You know, each of these hulls are designed to carry a family or crew, you know, build a legacy. And all these guys who work on it put their heart and soul into it. And it's really the foundation of the entire boat. When the bell rings and the shift is over, we're going to have a little celebration. And that's where tradition meets technology. So let's make a toast. All right, boys, here's the truth. Most days in a boat shop are noise and dust. Grinders humming, resin kicking, Pablo yelling. But every once in a while, a day shows up that's worth slowing down for. This is one of those days. The hull started as a mold and a plan, and now she's a living thing because of your hard work, your hands. Every inch of glass, every late night, it's all here. Boats don't get souls from ceremonies. They get them from the men who build them. So here's to the craft, here's to the pride, here's to game fishermen and Release Boatworks. Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers.
Cheers.
Salud. Salud.
So thanks for watching this month's edition of Shop Walk from here in Egg Harbor City from Release Boatworks. If you like this, we've got plenty more videos to check out. And tune in for our other videos. We have dock walks, we have Beyond the Bulkhead, our podcast. We just have a lot of fun talking about boats. See you soon.